Hey y'all, back with my 2004 Toyota Sienna. We're going to check the engine codes for why the ABS is on and some other things here. So the ABS and the VSC, I think those are the reason these are on. We've got codes here, CO 210 and CO 215. And I think this next one, the 1223, I believe that is just the malfunction of the ABS system. So I believe it's just related to the wheel speed sensors. I'm going to show you how we're going to go about fixing those. First thing, chock the wheel. Put your jack under it. If you have an impact, you can jack it up. If not, you're going to need to break the lug nuts loose on the ground. It's going to be 21 millimeter for the lug nuts. You can use your I use a long ratchet for Pittsburgh flex head. I really love that. I'll put links to description and everything. But the Craftsman I'll put in those description, it broke everything loose, even though this has been sitting for a long time. 14 millimeter is going to be for your bolts for your caliper back here. Be that caliper there. Be for these bolts here. And 17 millimeter is going to be for your bracket. It's going to be the bigger bolts. Going to be these puppies here. They're hidden back. I'll show you. You might have to really push that 17 on there or scrape that rust off. So right here is where that bolt's going to sit back in. I know it's probably hard to see right there. And you got one more on the bottom down here. So this is your cable for your ABS sensor or wheel speed sensor. Here's mine. It's broke off. You probably have to use a little pick or something to pry that and pull that apart. But I'll try to get you back there. Also, once you get the tire off, either put a jack stand or throw your tire underneath to keep it in case the jack goes down. So right back here, right back there is where you probably can see where that speed sensor came apart. And that's why we're doing this whole job. Now, if your rotor's really stuck on like mine, there's this crud that built up between the aluminum wheel and the steel hub. So you're going to have to get that off there. I love these Pittsburgh screwdrivers because you can use them as picks. They're lifetime warranty. They're really cheap. Also got the pry bar from Pittsburgh, another $10 for the whole set. You can use those to pick away at that. Get your big hammer, I think it's a 3-pounder, and just sit there and chip away at it, going down and sideways, in and around, and I'll show you next trick. Another quick tip is if you have one of these nailers, your air chisel from your air hammer will fit in there, and you can break away this stuff. Make sure to use eye protection. Let's see how well this works. Dang, I can't do too well with one-handed, but you see there how much it just busted all that up really fast. Next step is make sure these shoes and everything's loose. Tap it along the top there and along the face, all the way around. And then also you could try not to hit the face right here because you'll damage that. But you can try to loosen that up, try to get it broke loose. If that doesn't work, I'll show you the next trick. Your 14 millimeter caliper bolts will fit in these holes right here and here. Now you don't want to use the impact. You want to go nice and slow. You want to make sure you clean this hole out, maybe go back and forth and use a little bit of oil. But these will eventually, I think, push this rotor off. We'll try it here. Well, after just turning my ratchet a little bit with that bolt and a little bit of oil, this thing is already all loose. Look at that. Didn't even do the other side, just the one side. Crazy. I really like that technique. You can see here how little it protrudes, but it's just enough to push it off there. We'll make sure to put oil and clean up this lip here so this doesn't happen again. Looks like I'm going to need some new shoes there since they're both gone. That's just for the emergency brake, so don't be too concerned of that as long as you don't use your emergency brake too much, or don't trust it at least. After using a little bit of brake clean and spraying those bolts, there's all 4, so the 4 holes are 4. You're going to probably see if you can wire brush them. If not, you're going to have to just put a socket on there and see if you can run them off. You could use your favorite penetrant too to shoot those bolts down, the threads there. One over there, one over there. Like I said, one down there, one more down there. So a 3/8 drive 14 with the extension is going to work to fit in there, because otherwise the holes are so small a regular 1/2-inch impact won't fit. You might be able to get, you might have to wiggle it too because the 15 fit, but this had rust on there. But the 1/2-inch stuff like this just is too thick. 14 1/2-inch drive. You can see there it gets stuck, so you have to have something smaller, or like I said, a chrome one might fit too, 1/2-inch drive. So I threw on my 1/2-inch to 3/8 drive adapter, and we're going to put it in there. Let's see if we can do it. Now I just need 4 more to go. If the stud comes out, that's okay too. We'll just run that back in there, and when we're done. Now that we got them all out, then we're gonna get whack with a hammer. Well, that's all starting to come loose, so hopefully this is gonna come too. Well, that's the back part of it. It's not supposed to come off here like that. This is really getting stuck right there. I don't know, we're gonna have to try pounding on it some more and try to keep it in place so we don't break that brake line. Well, that was fun. Had to keep hitting on the top while holding that in place and hitting down with the hammer this way to get it to pop out. I'm going to have to really clean up those that edge in there. Make sure it doesn't do that again. All right, y'all. This M12 fuel here with that. I'll put the link for these abrasive brushes. Just use one. Cleaned this up real good already. Probably clean up a little bit more. I'm going to clean around this edge and then use that pick to hammer this out and put a new one in. Well, that abrasive brush did pretty good. You can see right along here. We're going to probably be hitting that line right there to get that out. If you got it, use that M12 air hammer and hit right there in that groove. Hitting it with the hammer there, you can see it's starting to split right there, so that works too. I can't recommend this hack enough, especially if you don't have air. It just opened that right up. She's off, y'all, all because of that. Just aimed it at this angle here and shot her off. Now I gotta put the new one on. Here's the new one I got from Amazon. We're gonna test it in the back here. I think it's supposed to be 1.1 ohms. So there it is, there, like 1.1. Supposedly that's good. So now we just gotta, I sprayed some lubricant. You can put some other stuff in there, especially if your bearings are starting to get, I don't know if you can see it down in there getting funny. I might put some hydraulic fluid, or antifreeze, or automatic transmission fluid in there and spin it around. You can also get the whole assembly to replace this too if you don't want to do this. We're just going to install it. We're going to put it back on there. Try to get it so that this plug is down towards the bottom. I believe that's how it goes. Yeah. And then we're just going to slowly tap all the way around. Probably with a screwdriver or something. Just go real slow or get a big something on there and try to go as evenly as possible. Put a little grease along here. All that. And then you're going to plug it back in. Let's see here. Get a little screwdriver or pick tool, get in the back there, and pry, I think this down. We're gonna see here in a minute, maybe it's up. So I actually had to go towards the, it is actually pushing down, but I actually had to go up here. I'll show you. I actually had to go up here and pry this around the edge and pry like up. If that makes any sense. Like that. And then had to push this and pry it out. So with them out, like I said, this is going to go back in. You're going to have 14 miller bolts on the impact, the extension there. Boom, boom, boom. That, plug this back in. Then you're going to have, you're going to put your rotor back on. And then you're going to have 17. Yeah, I think it's 17 caliper bolts here and here. Tighten this down. Just pretty snug. Like I said, using the long bar ratchet. You're going to have your caliper. Right there. That's going to be your 14s again on that. Make sure you clean up the slides on here. Make sure those brake pads are moving real good. Maybe even grease them if you have to. But it's a good time to replace these if you have them, or the brake pads. Then like once you get that tightened down, so you're going to have all that on. And then you're just going to have your tire, which is 21 millimeter. And you're going to put that back on. And yeah, everything in the reverse basically. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Let me know how I can do this better or what you thought of the video. As always, like and subscribe for more. And I'll catch you next one. Stay safe and God bless. See you then.